Welcome back, everybody. We're so glad that you stayed with us right here at the Community Redevelopment Agency for the City of Fort Myers. Shout out to Michelle Hilton Terry for these outstanding contributions. Speaking of the City of Fort Myers and downtown, we have a person that's directly involved with keeping us safe all over the Southwest Florida area and certainly downtown Fort Myers. Let's bump her in. Trish Routte is here, the community, the executive, I want to call you the executive director, but it's not. But it's the coordinator for Southwest Florida.
Manager.
The manager.
Manager, it doesn't, yeah, title's a title.
Yeah, but as long as the money come in.
There you go.
I just always have such a great time talking to you because you have such a wealth of knowledge. And I think this is a great place for us to even talk about Hurricane Ian as it has passed. Did we see a spike in crime as it related to spinoffs from the hurricane?
Unfortunately, we saw a lot of looting, and I think anywhere that you've had any kind of major devastation throughout our country, you're going to see that. There's always going to be that element of the community that's always looking to capitalize on somebody else's pain. And of course, we saw some of that. However, law enforcement was still out full force, despite the fact that our community was struggling and healing. And people that were doing that, they were held accountable for what they did. So now we're back, a little bit more than a year later, we're back into our regular pattern of crime that we're seeing in our community, and trying to reach out to the community to make sure that they know that they can help us out.
I don't think I've had you on the show since the last time you were on the show. So honored that Lepus Live was able to receive a National Crime Stoppers Award. I think that's the proper title. And so you made us famous.
You made yourself
phone calls from everyone.
Well, it was well deserved. You've been a great partner for our community and definitely in getting the word out.
My son gets to see it sitting there on the mantle. He has to set his goals higher. So thanks again for that. I mentioned that we were in the perfect place because we're in downtown Fort Myers. I would think that at some time this is one of the highly populated areas when festivals and things are taking place. And a lot of times when you have large crowds, people doing things that are undesirable in terms of crime, and people can report them directly to Crime Stoppers, couldn't they?
Absolutely. However, I will say that downtown Fort Myers is one of the safest places in Southwest Florida that you can go to, especially when we're having, the big festivals, Art Walk, things like that. There's really no trouble in downtown Fort Myers, and that's because, law enforcement has got a very strong presence, and our community respects places like downtown Fort Myers and these festivals that we have. These are things for all of us in Southwest Florida to enjoy, and, the majority of us, we don't want to wreck it for anybody else.
And we also moving into the holiday season, and you say generally when we going into these relaxed holiday season, things start to get a little bit shaky there.
Yeah, unfortunately, we start seeing an uptick in thefts, especially car burglaries. Around the holiday season, people get, as you said, a little bit more relaxed. We're trying to take a little bit of a step back, enjoy the holidays. We're going out, and maybe we're just not thinking about, when you're rushing to get out of your car and get into the holiday party or going to the store, you may forget to take that quick pause to lock your car. But this is the time of year when the bad guys are out just looking to prey upon that one thing that you forgot. So when you're going out shopping and you go back to your car to dump your bags, and then you go back in to do some more shopping, remember the bad guys are looking to see if you've locked your door or if you've just put your items in the front seat where they can just easily go in and grab it. Most times the victims that we see are people who have forgotten to lock their doors. But depending on where you're at, the criminals will also, if they see something of value in your front seat, whether it's a laptop, some kind of electronics, or a bunch of bags from the mall, they will easily, pop your window. There's certain devices where they can just quickly go in. They're not like throwing a rock through the window. They can quietly do it. They can reach into your car, grab your valuables, and take off in no time flat. So we really need people to definitely enjoy the holiday season, but be proactive. Take those few really quick steps to make sure that you're not a victim of crime.
Burglars are on the prowl all the time, residential, commercial, all over the place. People need to have their eyes out, but also they need to know that if they want to report it, they can do it anonymously. First of all, let's just talk about the general idea of burglars and people during the holiday season and this time of the year, taking advantage of people, and how people can report things without their identity being known.
Well, first of all, we want people to protect themselves, but second of all, don't bury your head in the sand. If you happen to see something, if you see somebody breaking into a car, somebody breaking into your neighbor's home, we need you to do the right thing and say something. Now, we get that you may not want to be involved and have, the police coming to your house and taking a report. You got to go to court and give depositions. We get that. So that's why Crime Stoppers is here, so that you can report that information completely anonymous. No one's ever going to know who you are. Your involvement ends the moment you end that phone call or the moment that you hit send on your laptop to send that tip in. You will not be involved. But the information that you have, the thing that you just saw, or the information that you overheard, could be the one thing that law enforcement needs to make an arrest and stop the bad guys in their tracks. And at the end of the day, you're going to get a cash reward. So it's a win-win. You're going to see the bad guy go to jail. You're going to get cash in your pockets. There's absolutely no reason to not report information.
Let's take a look at a commercial that you see and hear on our radio show and see on TV about Crime Stoppers.
Do you have information on an unsolved crime or a wanted fugitive but don't want to be seen talking to law enforcement or getting involved in something that you really have nothing to do with? Does the sound of getting cash for your information sound like something you'd be interested in? If so, the only place to turn is Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers. When you submit a tip, you're always anonymous. We don't trace or record your calls. And if your information leads to an arrest, we'll pay a cash reward of up to $3,000. It's just that easy. Do your part to help keep our community safe while earning money at the same time. The Crime Stoppers hotline is open 24/7 at 1-800-780-TIPS, or you can submit a tip online at www.southwestfloridacrimestoppers.com.
When we look at that commercial there, Trish, that it sort of summarizes how we got the good guys out there trying to protect us. And we, as a population, if we all work together, we can help the good guys, get the bad guys, get them off the streets, and make our community a better place to work, live, play, and do business.
In a perfect world, we would have a law enforcement officer on every single street corner 24/7 watching everything we do. First of all, it's a little big brotherish, but second of all, it's just not possible. That's why we need the community to step up. So when they see things, when they hear things, we need them to share that information with us. And we make it super helpful, super easy for people to do that. If you're a talker, you can pick up the phone, you can call us 24/7 on the hotline. If you don't want to necessarily have a conversation, you can go online, you can submit it on our website. Everybody's got a cell phone, at their side or in their hands all the time. So when you see these things, you can just go on your phone. We've got the P3 Tips app. You just go on the app. You can upload video. You can upload photos. We can have direct dialogue back and forth with you if we have questions about the tips that you're submitting. So there's no reason in the world for somebody to not provide that information.
That information leads to something. You get cash. How do I get my cash without you knowing who I am?
So anytime you submit a tip to us, regardless of which of the three ways, you're going to be given a code number. It's just a series of 5 or 6 numbers, and that is the only way that we identify you from beginning to end. So if your information ends up leading to an arrest or an ID, seizure of drugs, recovery of stolen goods, we are going to pay that out in cash. We deal with a local bank, and when we do our payouts, we make the arrangements of which branch you want to go to. We send the information over to the bank, pay tipster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, $850. You go into the branch at the time of your choosing. You just say tipster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They know the drill. They give you cash. You walk out the door. At no point in time is anybody asking you for your ID.
Give that phone number and website.
1-800-780-TIPS, www.southwestfloridacrimestoppers.com, and the P3 Tips app.
Okay. If I report a crime, how do I know how it's progressing in terms of being solved or when I get my money?
So if you submit your tip online or on the phone, you can easily call us every Wednesday between 9 and 3. It's a live call-in day. You're going to get myself or one of my 2 coworkers. But if you submit your tip online on the website or on the app, you can dialogue with us 24/7. So you don't have to necessarily call us. You can just go back onto your tip, go back onto that thread and say, hey, just checking in. Was there an arrest? But more times than not, if an arrest is made, we will go into that tip and just say, hey, thank you for your information. Your tip led to an arrest. We have a reward of X number of dollars. Please contact us so we can arrange for your reward payout. So it's that easy.
How many tips can I do a year?
you can do as many as you want because we don't know who our tipsters are.
Mhm.
You know, and it's so important to stress that when we take in these tips, we don't we don't ask your name, we don't ask how you're related to the case, we don't take down male, female, any kind of, there's zero identifying information. So that, and we do that on purpose so that if even the best defense lawyer in town tries to subpoena our records, there is nothing identifiable in our records. And at the end of the day, if I don't know who our tipsters are, there's no way anybody else can. So there's a reason, there's a method behind our madness why we keep people
And
anonymous.
you're not just saying this, the history shows that no anonymous person under the Crime Tippers of Southwest Florida, Crime Stoppers of Southwest Florida, has ever been identified.
42 years, and not once. And that's because we make sure we go through every possible step that we can to make sure that there is zero identifiable information, because a tip is just that. It's not the complete case. It's a tip that leads, that we give to law enforcement so that they can do their job, take that tip information, develop it into a case. Then they go through the whole judicial process. That tip is just a tip. We don't need anybody's name. We don't need to know the reason that they're giving us that information. We just need to know what they know so we can put that immediately in the hands of law enforcement. They can make the arrest. Our community is safer, and our tipsters are getting some money.
What's the difference in Crime Stoppers and my local police department?
So Crime Stoppers, you're anonymous. Now, when you call 911 or if you call the non-emergency phone numbers for the police department, you're a known quantity. Now, you may not give your name, but they know who you are because there's call tracing. They're able to see where you're calling from. If you're, they're able to trace the phone numbers, the location. So there's no way to truly keep you anonymous. And I know I'm not going to out anybody, but there are certain other vehicles, I'll say, in our community that say that they're going to keep you anonymous and you can provide your tip. I'm here to tell you 100% we are the only way to provide that tip anonymously.
What are some good things to provide to Crime Stoppers? Car tags, addresses, identities, distinguishing things about a person, what they drive. Just go ahead and kind of give us some general things that help you guys in solving crimes.
Literally anything. Sometimes, quite often we'll put out pictures on the news of suspects in crimes. Now, you may not know everything about them, but you may know, hey, I see this guy every Friday at, this convenience store, or just small bits of information. Those small bits of information can be exactly what we need to be able to track these people down. Hit and runs. This time of year, we got tourist season starting up. Hit and runs are happening all over the place. So even if you get a partial plate number, or if you see that the hit and run, maybe you don't get the plate number, but you see, okay, well, the driver was a male, long hair, any kind of identifiable information, even if you don't think it's going to help much, that small piece of information could be exactly what we need. So we would rather you call us and it be nothing at all. It may end up being something to us. You may not think it's something, but it could be exactly what we need.
Mm-hmm. The Crime Stoppers, you must use those the website and places that people are seeing on the phone number. If you don't do that and you dial another number, you won't get qualified for the reward.
Right. I mean, we appreciate that there are certain times when people need to call 911, but we just want people to understand that when you call your local police department or when you call 911, you're doing the right thing for sure, but you're not remaining anonymous. And because you're not anonymous, then you're ineligible for a cash reward from Crime Stoppers. For us to be able to pay out a reward, it needs to come through one of the three methods of Crime Stoppers.
One of the great things that I like about Crime Stoppers is that you may be sitting there on the porch or you may be moving up and down your neighborhood all the time and saying, we just need to do something about this. We need to get these bad guys out of the community, the drug dealers or what have we. Somebody who's abusing their wife, abusing their children, all these types of things. And I can do something about it and nobody will know that I'm doing something about it. I don't necessarily want the money. I'll take the money, wouldn't. But I can do something about it. You don't have to just sit there paranoid talking about we need to get this out of our community. Crime Stoppers is there for that, right?
Absolutely. And I'm a big fan of gut instinct and intuition. If you feel like there's something going on in your community that's not right, I say this especially like with drug deals. If you see there's that house down the street where people are coming in day and night, they're staying for like 2 minutes, and then they're leaving. You know, they never go into the house. Somebody comes out of the house, they talk in the driveway, and then they leave. Most people, when you're going to visit somebody, you're going inside the house, you're staying for more than a couple minutes.
Yes.
And you just have that gut feeling that something's not right. We need you to call us and just say, hey, I don't know for a fact that there's drug deals going on there, but it's suspicious and it makes me, I just don't feel right about it. We would rather go out there, have undercover officers sit on it for a few weeks and it turn out to be nothing. We would rather it be nothing. But if that gut instinct that you have turns out to be, you know, a drug house, by you calling us, you're taking that out of your neighborhood because nobody wants that going on down the street. So trust your gut instinct, because that one thing that you may not be feeling right, that could be something major going on. And you're going to be doing yourself, your family, and your neighbors a great service just by making that phone call.
That is so important. Well, it's always great to get you here. I'll always learn something. How important Crime Stoppers is to the community and making it a better place to live, work, play, and do business. Keep keeping us as safe as possible, Trish.
Thank you, Lee.
As the saying goes on this particular show, for those who say it can't be done, they're usually interrupted by those like Trish and all the fine people at Southwest Florida Crime Stoppers who are doing it. And remember, Miami may have the oranges, but Southwest Florida and Crime Stoppers has got the
juice.
They got the juice. We'll see you.
Lee Pitts Live is a Lee Pitts Enterprise production.
Hello, everybody. This is Lee. I'm so glad that you watched that particular show. And if you enjoyed that show, we got other shows like that. Just subscribe to our YouTube channel. Watch Lee Pitts Live on demand anytime. And also hit us up on all our social media platforms. Just type in Lee Pitts Live, and there you go.